Hello everyone, my name is Hannah. Welcome to a new video. Today's video is going to be the mid-year freakout tag. So where you kind of do a little bit of a wrap up or like a recap on the first half of the year and get excited for books coming out in the second half of the year. There's a list of questions. I've done this before. You know the drill. Let's get right into it. Okay, so question one is the best book of the year so far, and I have three. I know that that's cheating, and I literally don't care. I cannot choose, so I'm just gonna say all three. Also, if I read a book that's better than any of these three in the second half of the year, I will perish. It seems an impossibility. I don't see it happening, but you never know. So the first book that I'm gonna mention is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I absolutely loved this book. I read it 3 times in 3 days. I annotated in it. I just had the absolute best time reading this, and it's just so good. If you haven't read it yet, I know a lot of people have, and I am like very late to the Project Hail Mary game here, but I picked this up because of Rachel from Raven-Haired Reader, and it's so far out of my comfort zone that I was like very hesitant going into it. Imagine my surprise when I ended up binging it all in one day and absolutely loving it. I couldn't think about anything else. Like, I literally couldn't think about anything else. It's so good. And then the other 2 books that I'm going to mention are 2 fan fictions. So I'm sure if you've watched my videos, you know which 2 I'm going to mention here. And that is Manacled by Sen-Lin Yu and Remain Nameless by HeyJude19 on AO3. These are both Dramini fan fictions. One of them is very, very bleak, and that is Manacled. This book I picked up because of Lachlan at Locke's Library, and it's a kind of reimagining of what would have happened if Voldemort won the battle at Hogwarts and like won the Wizarding War. Mix that idea with The Handmaid's Tale. This book is so special, and it captured a piece of my soul. I just cannot speak highly enough about this book. If you haven't read it yet, check the trigger warnings for it before you go into it. Even if you don't read fan fiction, this was my very first fan fiction. I'm a changed person now. And then Remain Nameless is set, I think, 9 years after the final book in the Harry Potter series. And it's like everything still happened how it did, but now we're following Draco and Hermione after the war and like them dealing with their PTSD, and Draco gets a redemption arc. And this one is really cute because they kind of form this friendship over like a coffee date every day. It's really sweet. And then there is also, it's not just like all cutesiness, it is very cute, but there's also them dealing with some like struggles and overcoming their PTSD together and like the expectations of everybody. And yeah, this one was a balm to my soul after reading Manacled. So I love Remain Nameless just as much as I love Manacled, if I'm being honest. Like, especially Draco in Remain Nameless. I could talk about these books all day, so I'm gonna move on, but just know I love them so much, and these are new all-time favorites. Not just favorites of the year, but like top tier all-time favorites. Question 2 is the best sequel so far this year, and without a doubt, that is The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent. I absolutely loved this. This is one of the best sequels ever. I was nervous that I wasn't gonna love this one as much as I loved The Serpent and the Wings of Night, but I think I loved this one even more than I loved The Serpent and the Wings of Night. And I just had the best time reading this. It did everything that I wanted it to do, and it was just... I love Carissa's writing in this series. It's amazing. One of my favorite fantasy romance series ever, and I just thought that the sequel was done really, really well, and it wrapped up Araya and Rain's like story and their romance, but also left you still wanting more from this world, which is perfect because this is a series of duets. So this duet, the Nightborn duet is complete now, but then there'll be 2 more duets in this series following different characters, and I'm very, very excited for that. So this sequel, definitely the best of the year. Question 3 is a new release that you haven't read yet, but you want to, and for me, that is going to be Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I read and loved Ali Hazelwood's 2 other books, The Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain, and I really liked them, so I think I gave both of them 5 stars, so I've been highly anticipating any of her new releases. I'm really excited to get to that one. It just came out last week, so I want to get to it, but I want to be in a romance reading mood. I'm hoping that I can pick it up sometime in July. But yeah, I definitely want to get to that one soon. Question 4 is your most anticipated releases for the second half of the year. So first up, I'm really hoping this one comes out, and that is Magnolia Parks 3. It was supposed to come out this month, that was the tentative plan. But Jess has got like so much going on now, and with like the hype that it has gained and the traction that the series has gained, she's got a lot going on. So I understand. I want it to be the best book that it can be because it's going to be the end of Magnolia and BJ's love story. So yeah, that one doesn't have a release date yet, so I'm hoping that it's going to come out in the second half of the year. It's wishful thinking, so I'm hoping that it comes out in the second half of the year, and that would be my most anticipated, but who knows what's going to happen. Other than that, another anticipated release is Hopeless by Elsie Silver. It's the 5th and final book in the Chestnut Spring series. It's following Beau, who I have been waiting for his book since book 1, and I'm very, very excited for it. This one comes out October 13th, so I'm very excited for that one. And then also Bring Me Your Midnight by Rachel Griffin comes out, I think in August. Yes, August 1st. So that is like a witchy hate to love. And I've read both of Rachel Griffin's other books and I've really, really enjoyed them. So I'm very excited for this one. I think her writing just keeps improving, so I think this one's going to be the best one yet. All right, question 4. Biggest disappointment of the year so far. I feel like you guys know what I'm going to say. Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros is my biggest disappointment of the year, maybe my biggest disappointment like of all time, because I had such high hopes for this. This was a 5-star prediction. I was so excited and everybody was loving it. I mean, everybody is loving it. It has insane ratings. So many people are giving this 5 stars and saying it's like one of their favorite books of all time and that they love it like more than Sarah J. Maas, and they're just loving it. And I gave this 2 stars. I just didn't see what everybody else was seeing from this one. I just don't get it. So yeah, this was my biggest disappointment. Biggest surprise of the year, I kind of talked about it already, but it definitely was the biggest surprise so far, and that was Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. This is not my genre. This is so far out of my comfort zone, and I was nervous to pick this up. Like, even as I bought the book, I was like, am I really ever gonna read this? But again, Rachel has me in a chokehold, and I was convinced, and I picked it up, and I was absolutely shook, shaken, and stirred when I read this. I was just like so blown away by how much I loved it. You could have knocked me over with a feather. I was so surprised. Definitely the biggest surprise of the year. Another big surprise for me was Hex by Jenny Fagan. I read this in a 24-hour readathon. It's so short. It's like 100 pages. And it's following this like witch trial back in the 1591. And I picked this up just because like I had heard good things about it from Jody from Vanilla Moon. I just wanted to try it. I wasn't going in with any like real expectations. I just wanted to see like what the deal was. And I ended up absolutely loving this, and I had to annotate in it. The quotes in this are just incredible, and the writing is just amazing, and the story itself is really, really good. I'll definitely reread this probably every year. I'm probably gonna like reread it again this year. I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did, and I was blown away by it. Question 7 is a new favorite author, and without a doubt that honor goes to Elsie Silver. So I think I read Flawless in 2022, if I am remembering correctly, but I liked this one. However, the rest of the series, chef's kiss. I mean, I really did like Flawless, but from there on, it was like stunner after stunner. I still need to read the other series, the Gold Rush Ranch series, and I'm so excited for it. But Heartless is one of my favorite romances of all time. Also gave Powerless 5 stars. I loved Reckless. Like, I really, really like Elsie Silver's writing, and this is just gonna be like a comfort romance series for me that I will go back to again and again. And yeah, I just really like her writing, so I'm excited for anything that she publishes in the future. Question 8 is your newest fictional crush, and this one was pretty easy for me because it is Draco from the Harry Potter series, but mostly like from the fanfics. I have always liked Draco. I always thought he was done dirty in the books and in the movies. Like, I never thought of him as like the bad guy. Like, yes, he's a bully, but there was so much more to him. It's so layered. And I always wanted him to have more of a redemption arc. And the fanfics that I'm reading are giving me everything that I've wanted. And I love him so much. If I had to pick which Draco I have a fictional crush on, like from the ones that I've read so far, I would pick Draco from Remain Nameless because he's just everything to me. But just his character as a whole. Question 9 is your newest favorite character. And again, I know that I am using some of the same books, but like, that's my real answer. If you want to know my real answer, I'm not going to try to change that. My real answer is my newest favorite character is Rocky from Project Hail Mary. I would die for Rocky. I would take a bullet for Rocky. I love Rocky so much. That's all I'm going to say. I love Rocky. If you've read this, I'm sure you love Rocky too. Question 10 is a book that made you cry, and without a doubt, I have to say it. I know that I've been using some of the same books for several answers, but it's Manacled by Senlin Yu. When I tell you I cried for hours while reading this book, like I listened to the song Dusk Till Dawn by Zayn on repeat the entire time I read this book, and it's all I don't know. I just associate that song with Draco and Hermione, especially from Manacled, but I was like, I don't know, was I halfway through, or I was like through the flashbacks part of Manacled, and I was going to like do a Twilight movie marathon with my best friend Casey, and it's like an hour drive to get to her. And before I had even left, I was like just thinking about them and literally sobbing in the shower, and I was like trying to calm myself down so I could drive, and I cried the entire drive there, like to the point where it was almost unsafe. I probably shouldn't have done that, but yeah, I showed up to her apartment like with red eyes, and I was just crying. She was like, "Do you want to tell me about it?" And I was like, I just love them so much, and I want things to work out for them. And oh my god, I was sobbing like an actual puddle. Yeah, and I don't know if I've cried that much in a book ever. Like, because it was like body-racking sobs. Like, I could barely breathe. I was crying so hard. Like, I've cried really hard at certain books because I get so attached to fictional characters, but I don't think any book ever has made me cry like Manacled did. Question 11 is a book that made you happy, and I've got two answers for this one. So the first one is Heartless by Elsie Silver. So this one, I went in thinking I was gonna like it, but from like the first like 2 pages, I was like grinning so much my cheeks were starting to hurt, and I literally, that feeling never left me. Through the whole book, I was like smiling and squealing and kicking my feet and laughing and giggling, and like literally my face hurt from smiling so much while reading this. Like, I just had the best time. It made me so happy. I love this book. It is one of my favorite, like top 3 romances that I've ever read. Like, if somebody asks for a romance recommendation and I can only give them one, this is what I'll say. And then my second answer for that is A Sinister Revenge by Deanna Raybourn. So this is the 8th book in the Veronica Speedwell mystery series, which I absolutely love that series, but I was so excited for this new release. I've been waiting for it. And when I read it, I was like reading it. I think I was only like 4 pages in, and I read it in a vlog where I was like, I'm 4 pages in and I kind of want to cry because I'm so happy. And I just truly had the best time reading this. I love these characters, and they make me so happy. Like, when I think about them, I have to smile. Like, it's just an instant shot of serotonin straight to my brain. Question 12 is the most beautiful books that you have bought or received this year. So for that, I'm going to say the Fairy Loot editions of Crescent City. So I got the Illumicrate editions, which are also stunningly gorgeous, but the Fairy Loot ones, Fairy Loot did not need to go that hard. I'm so glad they did. Like, they both have their own individual like slip cases with gold foiling. The dust jackets are like so beautiful and so well made, and then the sprayed edges with the moon phases, like this one's in blue. The end pages, they're just like next level. Like, I don't even feel like I should be touching this without like wearing gloves or something. And then under the dust jacket is like, and they're both like that. Like, they're both, oh, they're so beautiful. Yeah, I'm so happy that I have these. Worth every penny. And then question 13 is, what books do you still need to get to before the end of the year? I want to get to Saving 6 and Redeeming 6 for sure before the end of the year. And then I also have my list of 23 books I want to read in 2023, which I have been making really good progress on, but I still have a few left on here. So I have Saga Volume 10, The Winners by Frederick Bachman, which is the third Beartown book, which is kind of like a very wintry setting. So I think I'll read it like this November or December. A Broken Blade by Melissa Blair. I've been meaning to get to that one for a really long time. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. That one I'm going to read this fall. Wolf Song by TJ Klune, because I love TJ Klune's writing and I want to read his backlist. The Witch Collector by Sharissa Weeks. Dear Ava by Ilsa Madden Mills. Savage Fae by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. That's the second book in the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac series. So I read the first book and I do want to continue it. I do have on here the Sorrow and Starlight, which is Zodiac Academy 8, but I'm going to change that because I put that on here because I was going to read the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac series and then read the final book, but they have announced that there's going to be another novella and a 9th book in the series, and so it won't wrap up. I am going to wait to finish the Zodiac Academy series until it is finished because I don't want to wait, because the cliffhangers that they end on, I can't handle them. So I'm waiting until the series is completely finished, and I don't think it'll be finished this year. So I'm going to change this, and I'll just like put Saving 6 in there. And then also The Blood is Love by Karina Halle. And then I also have some Hermione fan fictions that I want to get to. I want to get to Isolation, Bring Him to His Knees, Breathmint's Battle Scars. So I've got a lot of books that I want to read before the end of the year. I've got some plans, but I've got plenty of time. That is it for this tag. I'll leave all of the questions in the description down below if you want to do this tag. I'm not going to tag anyone specifically because I feel like it's kind of a staple at this point. Like, most people do this tag anyways. So if you want to do it, definitely do it. It's really fun. It's fun to look back on the first half of the year and like see how things have gone. And it also, like, looking back, I'm like, really, that was this year? It feels like so long ago. If you made it to the end of this video and you want to let me know, you can leave the little emoji where it's like like the freak out, you know what I'm saying. You know exactly which one I'm talking about. I'm not going to reenact it again. And let me know down in the comments down below what some of your answers are for this. Like, what has been your best book of the year? What has been your biggest disappointment? Let me know all of that in the comments down below. I'll also leave my Goodreads and my Instagram linked down below if you want to get more bookish content from me. You're always welcome to follow me on there. And thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye.